Alright folks, gathering close. Gather around. We're going to have a nice little talk. Alright? It's called a safety speech. Alright, we're going to teach you what you need to know to keep you safe out on the river today. First thing, we're going to talk about a few pieces of equipment we gave you today. Alright? A few pieces of equipment. You got a brain bucket. That's what we call it a helmet. You got a paddle. And you got a PFD. That's a personal flotation device. Alright, it's not a life jacket. It will not save your life. It will, however, provide flotation to your corpse. Don't forget that. Alright, so first thing we're going to talk about is the helmet, your brain bucket. Okay, that is magical. It stays on your head at all times unless we tell you otherwise. Not only does that deflect rocks from the river, it also deflects flying T-grips from your friends and family. Okay, those things can hurt. Second thing, your high float personal flotation device. Okay, we want you to keep that buckled at all times. You're going to notice you're going to have 4 buckles, okay? Up and down, alright? We want you to maintain 4 of those buckles. There's one on the bottom, much like on my PFD. That one tricks people. People miss that, but you want to make sure that's buckled because that is state law. Now, if Mr. Game Warden comes along the river and sees that you have one of those buckles undone, guess what? That's a $25 fine, not for you, but for your guy. I don't make that much money in a day, so if you got all 4 of these undone, guess what? It's $100. I don't make that in a day, so don't be doing that to me, okay, you guys? So, keep buckle, keep nice and tight, keep them fun. Third piece of equipment we have is the paddle. This was designed by a deadly ninja warrior. Alright? Very crazy stuff. If you let go with your top hand, you got a flying T-grip. This hand becomes a fulcrum. This is a deadly weapon! You can do all sorts of things. Break nose, pop out eye, get some summer teeth. You guys know what summer teeth are? No? That's when some are in your mouth, some are in the boat, some are in the river. Yeah, summer teeth like that. So, you don't want summer teeth, alright. So, 2 hands on the paddle, about shoulder width apart, hand always on that T-grip. That'll be safe. If you have to let go, try and use the other hand, okay? Wave at people. Do what you need to do. Alright. So, first things first. With these paddles, if we use them appropriately, we're going to be using them to propel rafts down the river. Now, these rafts I speak of are big, inflatable rubber things, okay? They're big, 16-foot Moravia self-bailing rafts. That means if water goes in, water comes back out. It's wicked cool, alright? They're composed of 9 different tubes. You got 4 sections in the outside tube. You got 4 thwarts, look like sausages in the middle, and you have a floor. The good news is, what this means is if any one of these tubes pop, you still have a bunch of other ones that keep you afloat. It's really cool, really neat. So there's also a bunch of ropes around this raft, hold-on lines, bow lines, all sorts of shenanigans. You'll see that when you get to the raft. Alright, now these paddles, we actually use to propel these rafts down the river. Alright, now there are a few specific commands we use when we do this. They are as follows. All ahead, all back, back left, back right, stop, hold on. Okay, you got all that? Perfect. Your guys will go over that later at the river. You'll be fine. Alright, so, let's go over some scenarios real quick. Alright, let's imagine you're paddling down the west branch of the Penobscot River. All is well. Things get a little bit crazy. Oh, something happens. You find yourself in a dark, cold, wet place. You're having an out-of-boat experience. It's crazy. Alright, try not to panic, you guys. Alright, it's not all that bad. The water's pretty soft. Okay, you're going to float. That PFD will bring you right to the surface. Now, the cool thing is 9 times out of 10, if you fall out of the raft, where are you going to end up? Right next to the raft. So you will pop up at this point. Okay, is when I need you to be aggressive and save people, alright? Your guy can't do it all for you. He's got to steer the boat, right? So you want to save people. There's a magical way we do this, okay? So someone fell in the water, okay? Oh my God, I fell out. Be vocal, people. Tell people, hey, I'm in the water. People might not notice. Okay, now you're going to say, okay, that guy's in the water. I need to save this person. This is very important how you do this, okay? You're going to reach down and you're going to help lift this person into the boat. Now, unless you're like Hulk Hogan with these big old jacked arms, you're not going to be able to lift this person and set him in, okay? So, this is where you use some special technique. What you're going to do is you put your knees right on the side of this raft here, alright? You're going to grab this person by the lapels of the life jacket. That's the shoulder straps, okay? We do not use arms or legs or other appendages, okay? They tend to like pop off and like dislocate and stuff, which is not fun. Okay, so grab the lapels. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab this person. You're going to say, alright, on the count of 3, I'm going to lift you back in. And you go 1, 2, and on 3 I like to give them a little push under, give you a little extra zip up, you know? So on 3 you're going to pull them and you're going to just use entire body weight and fall back. Now, cool thing is if this is a very attractive person, you can drag them right in on top of you. Alright? If they're ugly, just chuck them off to the side. It's cool. Alright, so, that being said, that's how you get someone in the boat. If you're the person in the water, okay, help yourself out. Push down on that perimeter line and kick really hard, alright? Help yourself get in the boat. Act like you want to be rescued. Okay? like you want to be rescued. Now, on occasion, you find yourself just a little bit further away from the boat than this. This is when we can use what's called a T-rescue. That's when you take your paddle here, and you can let go of your T-grip in this instance, okay? And you're going to extend it out to that person that's swimming, and you pull them to the side of the boat and get them in, okay? It is not whack-a-mole, all right? We're not doing any of that. So, be gentle. Don't break any noses, all right? Pull them in, get them back in the boat. It's a wonderful time, right? If you're a little further away than that, you can do this really cool thing where you try to lock T-grips with the person in the water, assuming they still have their paddle, all right? This works 1 out of 10 times on dry land. It has never worked in the water. But it could be your lucky day. You never know. All right. If you find yourself even a little further away than that, I do not have one here, but we have these things called throw bags. It's a bag full of rope. It's orange. They're really cool. All right. They're attached to the boat. They need to stay attached to the boat, because if I take that off of the boat and throw it at you, you're now swimming with a bag of rope. That's pretty useless, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So you need an end to stay attached to the boat. I'm going to yell, rope! And I'm going to throw it. I'm going to attempt to hit you right in the face with it, okay? It's not that I don't like you, all right? It's just that, you know, you'll notice it. If it hits you in the face, you're swimming a big rapid. You may be, you know, not paying attention. So you grab the bag. Now, here's the funny part, all right? Say you're 15 feet away from this raft and you're swimming. I hit you with a throw bag. These things contain between 50 and 70 feet of rope. So if you grab the bag, what happens? You go really far before we pull you back to the boat. So when you get the bag, here's what you need to do, okay? Let go of the bag, grab the rope, throw it over your shoulder, and we will drag you back to the boat and get you in. It's a really cool time. It's a really cool ride, right? Do not ever wrap the rope around anything. Arms, heads, legs. Don't do it, okay? It's dangerous. Single strand over your shoulder. Boom, you're good. Now, if you're a little further away than that, or maybe your guide's lazy and doesn't want to throw a throwback to you. I don't know. Okay. This is a situation we call AMF yo-yo. It means adios, my friend. You're on your own. All right. If this happens, again, try not to panic. The cool thing is this is a drop pool river, which means after every significant rapid, there's a calm pool. So it's really crazy for a little while, and then it gets calm. You can kind of swim to the side and then wait for someone to pick you up. It's really neat. Okay? Now, there are a couple ways we like you to swim. First, I call this the Michael Phelps method. That is when you roll over on your stomach and swim aggressively. All right, probably towards a blue boat. All right, swim for dear life, like you actually want to, you know, get back to that boat or something, right? Cool. The other method we call lawn chair position. You roll over on your back. You want nose and toes above the water, right? So you can see your toes. You can kind of paddle. You can see what's coming down river. You're like, oh, rock! You know, paddle away from bump off of your feet. That's really cool. Both these methods are acceptable. One thing you don't want to do, all right? About to get real serious. Most dangerous thing can happen to you on the river, any river, is something called foot entrapment. All right. Now imagine you're floating along the old river. You decide to dangle your feetsies down there, and your foot finds itself jammed under a rock, or a log, or maybe an old logging cable, something that got left down there. Your foot just stopped. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, 3,000 cubic feet per second of the Penobscot River did not just stop when you did, and it is going to push you down, 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 to the bottom of the river, where you can do some push-ups and you'll be really fit before you die. Okay, in this situation, there's not much we can do. We'd actually appreciate it if you take off your helmet, clip it to your PFD, take that off and let it float to the surface so at least we can get those back, okay? That'd be cool. But seriously, don't stick your feet down there and it won't happen, okay? You always want your butt down there. There's no such thing as butt entrapment. All right? Just don't stick your feet down the bottom of the river. Cool? All right, so just a couple other things here before we get on our way. Let's imagine we're paddling, 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 paddling. Things get really rough. Whoa, boom! Something happens. You don't know what's going on. It's really dark. And there's this dull roar in your ears. What's going on? Guess what? Your boat just flipped over. That's cool, right? At this point, you're actually underneath the boat, which is kind of neat because the rocker on the boat allows you a little air pocket. You got little ropes hanging down you can hang on to. You're like, woo, it's cool in here. But you don't actually want to be under there. First of all, your guide is wondering where the heck you are, okay? If I don't see where you are, I'm a little nervous, all right? And if I'm on top of that raft very quickly, which I will be because I'm awesome, right? I'm going to start feeling the bottom of that boat for little lumps. That's going to be your head, and I'm just going to stomp on it. I'm going to try to pop you out, and then I'll get you back on the boat, okay? It's wicked awesome. So, if you find yourself under an upside-down boat, it's really easy what you do. You go, you take a deep breath, and you go sideways, okay? Follow the sausages, they'll lead you out. Then you'll be outside of the boat, we'll get you on top, get to a calm spot, we'll flip it over, we'll be good to go. Right? It's very cool. Now, if the boat does flip over, you may find yourself not underneath the boat. In this case, it's really easy. The way boats are, if they're upside down, they're actually easier to get onto than if they're right side up. It's really weird, I know. But, in that case, also, if the entire boat flips over, don't expect a lot of attention from your guide, because we're saving ourselves at that point, okay? We'll get to you eventually. Okay? Self-rescue is the best rescue, remember that. So, that's what happens if you get flipped over, alright? Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it could. Now, you may also find yourself underneath the raft that hasn't flipped over. This is actually a little worse because, well, there's no air down there. Believe it or not, unless you're a fish. Basically what it feels like is you fall out of the boat, and as you're drifting to the surface, you hit a roof, and you're like, oh, that's not cool. So that's the bottom of our boat. Now here's really easy, okay? At this point, get rid of your paddle, put your hands above your head, and you're going to walk on your hands, pick a direction, go with it, you guys, alright? Eventually, you're going to pop out, we'll get you back in the boat, and it's going to be a radical time. It's very cool, alright? So just last couple things before we go, you guys. First of all, don't talk to the fishermen. They don't like us, okay? I'm kidding. They really do like us. But it's just they're out here for a different reason than we are. You know, if he's having a really bad day, you know, Jimmy Fisherman out there, not catching any fish, and you figure there's like 40 boats to go by in a day. If every boat yells, Jimmy, how's the fishing? He might get a little angry by the end of the day. Some of these guys are pretty good. They might poke the helmet right off your head. Alright? I've seen it. Seriously. So, leave the fishermen alone. We give them a nice wide berth, okay? Secondly, make sure you bring any medications you require on the river. If you need an inhaler, guess what? Bring it. We're like 40 miles from the nearest hospital. So, EpiPens, inhalers, anything like that. Okay, if you need some nitro for the heart, cool, alright? That's neat. Alright, now if there are any medical conditions which may be pertinent to the trip today, say you're prone to like seizures, that might be cool to know before we do this. You know, if you just start seizing in the boat in front of me, I might panic a little bit. It's a little better if I know about that. It's anything like that, maybe for like 9 months pregnant too. And that might be an issue. So, you know, things like that. Lastly, if you're swimming, where we allow you to swim, there's no jumping or diving into the river. We do not pretend to know where the rocks are. If you ask me how deep it is, I'm going to tell you breast high on a duck. Alright? I don't know. Okay? And if you jump into the river, you may jump onto a rock and that hurts. Ow. Okay, don't do it. Alright, also, if you're swimming, stay away from strainers on the side of the river. These are ugly looking trees that fall over and they strain you like spaghetti. And that really is not cool, because you're stuck in a tree and getting drowned, and it's not very fun, okay? Yeah, so stay away from strainers, no jumping or diving into the river. We'll tell you slide in feet first if you need to. Okay? That's how you get in the river. Alright, I believe we've covered everything, so at this point, load on the buses. Woo! Yes, shout out to Humpy Outing Club. And let's hit the buses and go to the river. Peace!
Yeah.